Hi everyone, it's Laura here and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video I'm gonna show you how to create a scene card and how to use dimension to accent your focal images. I am creating this video as part of my guest designer spot for Gerda Steiner designs, and I will be using the super adorable On the Bookshelf stamp set, which features some seriously cute kittens and lots of fun accompanying images which are great for scene building. But now let's dive into the tutorial. As a first step, I will be working on my background, and for that I will be using a stencil and some texture paste, which I will be coloring with my Distress Oxide in Iced Spruce. I am pressing the ink pad on my work surface, and then I will pick up some paste and mix it in with the Distress Oxide, and I will keep working it with my spatula until all the color is absorbed and evenly distributed. I am also adding some more paste and some more ink to darken up the color a little bit, and my advice is don't be too conservative with the amount of paste you prepare, because if you run out midway through your project it will be difficult to get the same color again. So once all the Distress Oxide is evenly mixed and I am satisfied with the color I produced, I am going to use the spatula to distribute the paste over the entire surface and paying attention not to move the stencil so that I get a crisp impression. And once the whole background is covered, I will wipe my spatula across the whole base without pressing too hard, because this will create some light striations which will add some subtle texture to my background. At this point I can carefully remove the stencil, and it's very important that you wash off your tools and your work surface as quickly as you can, because you don't want the texture paste to dry. And there I was just showing you that this bottom area remained empty, but that's not going to be a problem because I will cover it up with the elements that will constitute the floor for my scene. While my background is drying, I can work on my images, and as you can see I stamped quite a few of them. These are, as I said at the beginning of the video, from the Gerda Steiner designs On the Bookshelf stamp set. And what I had in mind is a scene that would be reminiscent of an old messy library where these adorable kittens are hanging out. So the images are stamped with Memento Tuxedo Black ink on some Nina Solar White 110 pounds cardstock, and I am using my Spectrum Noir markers to color them in. I will not show the entire coloring process because that took a little bit of time, but I will share a color chart on my blog with all the markers are used, in case you'd like to use that as a reference. In general, I am using 3 shades per color, and I'm adding shadows as if the light comes from the top right of the screen, so that the darker areas would mainly be the ones on the bottom left parts of the images. And I am first laying down the lighter shade where I think the shadows will be, and then I'm coming in those same areas, first with my mid-tone and then with my darker marker. And after that I'm blending everything out towards the lighter areas again. And this on the one hand allows me to get a nicer blend because I saturate the paper with ink more, and on the other hand it helps me figure out if my placement of the shadows is correct, and if not, because I initially just lay them down with my lighter marker, I can easily correct for that and adjust it as I come in with the darker markers. And if I feel that the shadows are not as deep as I'd like them to be, I will come in with a second layer to intensify the contrast. I will now leave you with some music while I finish up coloring these cute cats, and I will catch you guys when it's time to put the card together. I finished coloring all the other images off camera, and I remind you that you can find a color chart on my blog, which you will find linked in the description box down below, but this is basically the final result. I also went ahead and cut all the images with my Cutter B scissors. There are coordinating dies for this stamp set, but because I don't have them, I cut them by hand. And here they are. They're absolutely adorable. At this point, the texture paste is dry, and I also cut a strip out of some wood grain pattern paper that will be the floor of my room. And before assembling my scene, I will be stamping the sentiment, and I picked the one in the On the Bookshelf stamp set by Gerda Steiner Designs that reads "Enjoy your day." I am stamping it with VersaFine Onyx Black ink on this strip of wood grain pattern paper. I am then coating it with some clear embossing powder, and I am using my heat gun to heat set the embossing powder. I sort of went ahead and pre-arranged my scene to get an idea of where I wanted the elements to go, and because this will be quite a busy scene, I decided to use some foam tape to accent the images that I want to be the focus. So I cut some thin strips out of 3M foam tape, and I will be using them to pop up the shelf, which I am positioning on the top third part of my scene. And I am using the pattern on my brick wall to align it correctly. I then used my Nuvo Deluxe adhesive to glue down one of the stack of books slightly tilted, as well as one of the plant vases on the left area of the bookshelf. And then I will be adhering this cute cat that is looking downwards in front of these elements using some foam tape. I am filling up the right area of the bookshelf with some more books, which I am gluing down flat again with some Nuvo Deluxe adhesive, and then I will pop up the cactus on some foam tape so that it's raised at the same level as the cat. On the bottom portion of the scene, I decided to create some clusters of books which will be spread around the floor, and again I am gluing them flat with Nuvo Deluxe adhesive. So I am spreading them across the whole area to create some interest and movement on my scene. And after I am done adhering all the books, in order to give emphasis to the cat and the mouse, I will be popping them up on some foam tape. Finally, because I felt that I needed to fill up the space between the floor and the shelf a little bit more, I colored and die cut this image of a globe, and I am gluing it down behind the cat to finish up my scene. I also decorated the inside of the card, and for that I stamped the relaxed sentiment in the Gerda Steiner Designs On the Bookshelf stamp set with VersaFine Onyx Black ink, and I also glued down this adorable image with the cat napping on the book. And that finished up my card. As you can see, the dimension created with the foam tape helps draw attention towards the raised images in this rather busy scene. And I have to tell you that the effect is even more evident in real life. And that's it for today. If you guys enjoyed this video, please let me know in the comments below, give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel. You can visit my blog for the full list of supplies, and I'll catch you guys soon with the next one. Ciao!